If you want to buy it, let us find it. If you want to sell it, let us list it. Looking for property? Then Google Abaco Keys Realty. Abaco Keys Realty. We're ready to work for you.
The Voice of the Church. The Voice of the Church aired on the Bahamas Christian Network every Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. until noon. My guest today is Brother Whitney Bain. He has introduced a program called L.I.F.E. and launched here on the island of Abaco. And as I sit here, I can see this program being exported from beyond the borders of the Bahamas. Very, very well detailed curriculum, I suppose, on life. Why are we doing this program called L.I.F.E. and why now?
Life is being brought out because there's a glaring need in our society. And beyond that glaring need, there's a push from the Holy Spirit in my spirit to do it.
But you have the church, you have the church-based programs, you have Ministry of Education, and all of those are not enough. Life is essential now.
Well, I'm convinced and convicted that it is. Whenever the Holy Spirit places anything in a person's spirit, if the person's obedient to that prompting, they must do what the prompting says.
Yes.
And that prompting has been to work on this. Pastor Mills, hours and hours, multiple hours have gone into developing this program because the Holy Spirit drove me to do it, drove me to actually build the L.I.F.E. program.
So one looking at this now is saying, is it the Holy Spirit or is it motivated by money?
No.
Not motivated by money.
There is a cost for the program, yes. However, if I could get the support necessary to actually run this program, I would give it at a very minimal cost, if not no cost, to the young people. But we must be careful, Pastor Mills, concerning value being given with no value in return. There's a reciprocal exchange where value is concerned. For example, I had a suit made for my son, and in his adolescent years, I should never have done a made-to-measure, custom-fit suit.
No.
Knowing that he is growing.
He's growing.
Very quickly. So I made.
You could have called me on that one.
It was stupid anyway. But I made the suit. I ordered the suit. I think he wore the suit once. When he tried it on again, it was too short. So I had to give it to someone else. And I gave this $500+ suit to someone else. And Pastor Mills, it hurt me.
First thing I would have told you, you don't spend $500 on a suit for a growing kid.
It was like an incentive as well.
Yes.
But it hurt me to the fact that the suit was treated like a $10 piece of clothing. So I say that to say this. If there is no investment, if I don't have to pay for anything, I'm not attached or connected to it. I'm not invested in it. And because I'm not invested, I won't necessarily take it as being something that is mine, that I've bought. And so that's where the exchange comes in. But honestly, if I had someone to actually underwrite this program, I would gladly be able to do it without charging our young people.
Yes. And so in order to enroll your child in this program, the parents are watching. They want to know, well, okay, this sounds very interesting. My child has something that can augment what they're learning in school now, something that can help them, steer them, getting life's priority on target early. What is the basic cost? And in these economic times, are you urging parents to make that kind of a sacrifice?
Well, it depends on what they want for their children. It is my hope and my belief that they would put their child in the best position for success as possible. While there are programs out there being conducted by a number of agencies, this program is being brought because there is a niche market or a niche that is not being met. And so in reference to the products that the L.I.F.E. program has to offer, There's a product called Life Capsule, and it's for those persons who cannot be in an extended program of life. 1 week, like I mentioned, in-person facilitation.
Crash course.
Yes. 4 days, 3 hours every day, and it's normally in the evening time. And then 1 week afterwards, we do the electronic mentoring. $75 plus $25 registration fee. There's a program that I'm looking to conduct in Easter. God Spares Life. I want to be able to bring that to the fore, whereby, again, $75 per week, plus the registration fee in Easter. And I want to do it in Easter for 1 week. In the summer, I'm also doing a program called Life Directed. And I'm going to do that 2 periods in the summer, from June 20th to July 1st. That'll be the first session. And then July 18th to July 29th. Again, $75 per week and $25 as a registration. But the summer program is actually going to be a 2-week program. So all in all, it's $150 plus the $25 registration fee.
So someone interested in furthering in their pursuit of this, how will they contact you? And where do you hold these sessions? Where will you make house calls? Or do you have some place set up afternoon where classes can take place?
No, I don't have an afternoon setup session at this time, but I have a phone number that they can contact me at. My mobile number is 1242-458-0675. That's 1242-458-0675. Or they can actually...
And that's for Abaco, that'll be a local number?
Yes, for Abaco, that'll be a local number. Or if they wish to contact me at my home office, the VIBE is 225-2339. They can leave a message if they don't get an answer, because I can retrieve the messages. And also, my email address is Whitney_Bain@yahoo.com. That's WHITNEY_BAIN@yahoo.com.
And so you've got a number of contacts. You don't do again afternoon programs, so you have to go to a school in order to conduct this program?
In some instances, yes. But the Easter program and the summer programs, we're going to be doing right at the Latter Rain Ministries, the multi-purpose building. Or depending if there's a lot of persons that become a part of it, we may actually use the church's facility.
And so, folks, you can get registered, you can make inquiries. Do you have a brochure that people can, or do you have something online, a page that people can just go to and get information? No,
I do not have an online page as such. They can always send me an email and I can reply back. But very shortly, I'll have that web page so that they can actually go and see what the program is all about, and they can get details on pricing and exactly what the program will offer to their young people.
All right. Brandon, are the sessions interesting?
Yes, sir.
What do you remember about it?
Well, like you said, he asked us when he first came there what superhero we wanted to be.
And which one are you?
Batman.
Batman? You mean that?
So.
My goodness, I have some friends who are the Joker. You don't want to be the Joker. Batman. Why? Why Batman?
Well, he knows not to do wrong because he's a superhero, and he gets respect somewhat from other people. Some people don't like him.
But he can't fly.
No, he's just a regular person.
Being chauffeured.
No, he chauffeurs himself.
He drives himself.
He drives himself.
Okay.
He invents his own stuff. You don't got to worry about other people.
Okay. You're right into this Batman stuff. So when you hear him say, I want to be Batman.
Right.
What is that telling you about him? He has a creative mind.
Yes. First of all, it tells me that he's independent. The fact that he's talking about him creating his own stuff speaks of his independence. So he's not going to rely on someone else to do things for him. He has enough energy and dynamo within himself to be able to move forward to where he wants to go. So that independence is a strength already in his words there. And even though it's a silly thing talking about Batman or superheroes, They speak as to what's in them already.
Listen, I wanted to be Superman.
I hear you.
Forget it. I forget everybody else. I want to be Superman. So bad that this year I actually flew like Superman. My Superman outfit.
So Pastor Bruce, the glaring strength, based on Brandon's comments just now, is the fact that he's independent. And there are things that are attached to independence. Do you know what's going to happen in his life? His confidence will be attacked. Because to be independent, you got to be confident to be independent. So he will find that in his interactions, either at home, at school, or wherever, his confidence will be attacked. So it's my job then to look at him and strengthen his confidence. Not only that, he will also have the ability to be able to do some great things if his mind is clear. So it is my goal to get his mind clear, to remove the distractions as much as possible and help him to focus on where he wants to go. Because that strength of independence will show itself, and it will bring a number of other things that are beneficial behind it in his life.
Okay, now let's see guys, if we can reverse the table here. Did you find out from him which superhero he wanted to be?
How's up?
Well, let's reverse the table here. Which superhero? Well, go ahead, you ask him.
Ask Mr. Bain?
Yeah, ask Mr. Bain.
What superhero would you want to be?
What superhero I wanted to be?
Yes.
Green Lantern.
The Green Lantern. Of all.
We had something a couple months ago when I used to work.
Of course, you guys don't know the Green Lantern, right? Yes, you do? Okay.
A couple months ago, they were asking about superheroes in my workplace, and I chose that, the Green Lantern. There is an ability to take, just like Batman, a normal man, and have on that person accentuated abilities and talents and all that. And quite often, when the Holy Spirit comes upon you, the Holy Spirit superimposes itself on your ability and then allows your ability to be superhero-like. And that's why I gravitated toward Green Lantern, because he's a regular man, but he has that super ability on that regular person.
And what did you want to be, Miss McIntosh, on the end?
We weren't asked that question.
You weren't asked that question. We're asking that question now. We'll come back to you, Jesse. Which one are you superhero you wanted to be?
To be honest, I don't know much about superheroes.
You don't do cartoons?
Not superhero cartoons.
Not the superhero ones, okay. Those ones who say they come to save the world, bring justice. Get rid of those ones who try to destroy the world. Because in all these superhero cartoons, somebody trying to destroy the world, and someone steps in. Which one would you like to be, Regine? You never think about it. Okay, so do you ask the ladies a different question?
Well, I asked the groups. The setting is going to be different based on who is in the group.
Yes.
And for those persons, say in the 7th, 8th, 9th, or 10th grade, their sessions may be slightly different than the 11th or 12th grade. And so that's probably why they don't recall or they didn't get that question.
Sure.
But one thing that was interesting is that there's a young gentleman in the 7th grade. I asked him which superhero he wanted to be, and he said himself.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He didn't feel that a superhero had what it took to encapsulate who he was. And so he figured, okay, I will be me. Oh, short, white, with the hair, with the fluffy hair. Royce. And he's in 8th grade, thank you.
Yes.
And Royce said, I want to be me. And when he said that, I looked at him, and first of all, I could see strength, and again, I could see confidence. Because the thing with Royce is this. He says to me, Mr. Bain, I could actually take an engine apart and put it back together again. Now, I'm not mechanically inclined, so I was a little bit embarrassed that this 8th grader could do something that I, in my 44 years, can't do. So I said, well, who taught you this, Royce? He said, my father. And I said, okay. And I asked the others to listen. I said, listen to this now. This is an idea or an example of expert status.
Yes.
I said, Royce, I'm sure when you started, you didn't know how to take an engine apart. He said, no, I didn't. But I watched, and I listened, and I followed the instructions, and I said to them, listen now, you see what he did?
Yes.
And so months and weeks took place until his father, he worked with his father. Then after Royce worked with his father for a time, his father put him on his own and said, okay, Royce, break that engine down.
Wow.
Or put that engine back together again. And what it did for this young boy is gave him the confidence that when the question was asked, which superhero would you like to be? I want to be me. And that tells me a whole lot about him. Again, it speaks to Royce's independence.
Yes.
It speaks to his confidence in his abilities. And again, I have to be very careful to strengthen that confidence and to guard against anyone trying to bring him or break him down.
Yes.
Because oftentimes, either in the home or in the school or in their peers, people will try to break him down or break them down when they think like that, because they have such confidence that they can accomplish things.
Could you imagine him 20 years from now?
He's going to be awesome.
All he needs to do is listen to the sound of an engine and tell what the problem is.
And he's going to amaze people, because here it is, this young man is able to articulate and tell you exactly what an engine is doing without even touching it.
Interesting. Very. And so you're able to, kids are volunteering this stuff without you having to extract it with any effort.
It's the atmosphere that's created. One, I think Jesse's group, they call it their therapy session. When I come and I spend time with them. And Jesse asked me the other day, he said, Mr. Bain, you're not upset when we say that we're in a therapy session with you, or we like it because it's like a therapy session? I said, no, not at all. Because if you create an environment for young people to be able to take off the masks, to be able to speak freely, and you actually help them with what issues they're dealing with, then not only do they have a friend or a confidant, but you actually build a foundation whereby they can actually go far in life. I mean, they can accomplish some great things if this baggage was just taken away. Some great things they can accomplish.
Do you sort of inoculate them from the prevailing attitude of failure? You don't accept that.
Yes, you do. One of the first topics I dealt with when we actually started was failure, right there in red.
Yes.
The door that leads to success.
Yes.
It is said that who discovered the light bulb? No, it wasn't Einstein. Thomas Edison.
Edison, yes.
Right? Okay, he's credited with discovering the light bulb. And it is said that they had over 1,000 experiments to be able to come to the one experiment that worked.
Yes.
So failure upon failure upon failure upon failure. How many wise and famous persons do we know of that failed time and time and time again? But their perseverance pushed them through until they actually opened that doorway to success. So I don't shun these young people from failure.
From failing.
I tell them, listen, failure will come.
Yes.
But failure is not the end of it all. Being denied is not, saying no or not being able to accomplish something is not mean that you'll be denied that thing. It just means that the timing may not be right.
And, well, you know, as I look around the young people today, if they go looking for a job and somebody tell them no, they quit looking altogether. You got to keep knocking, keep on going, and because you know it's that feeling that my goodness, I'm never going to find anything after being told no. And so if you fail, we had an old saying: if at first you don't succeed, try again. And it's important that this is drilled and hammered into the mindset of these young people as they grow. You know, basically what I'm feeling here, Mr. Bain, is that being young, we all encounter the same challenges.
Yes.
In spite of what generation it is. You're going through the same process of life. Your mind is thinking, you're going from one stage to the next. Now, albeit they may be getting there faster than we got there,
right?
But the process is basically the same.
Yes.
And so, as you go through this, how you find the children who you thought should be at another level, at one level, and these kids are suddenly 5 or 6 years above where you thought they should be?
Well, when I look at the groups that I'm dealing with, especially
when I talk about that, I'm referencing the 8th grader,
right,
who's now able to dismantle an engine. This kid should be doing that if we let him. If without any help, he's expected to be doing this when he's 15 years old. Not at 12
level, yeah.
Not at 12 years old.
The thing that I see happening are two things. I'm picking up that there's a lot going on at home. For a lot of these young people, a lot is happening at home. Much of it may be negative, or in their mind, perceived as negative. And because of that home environment or home situation, that climate creates a burden on the rest of their lives. It brings a stress level, so to speak. But conversely, you find that there are some homes where persons are engaging with their parents or their guardians, so much so to the point that they're learning skills that will benefit them for life. For example, like Royce. I don't know what his home situation is like, but clearly his father and he have a great relationship. One whereby the father is passing on information to the son is absorbing this information, and then is now able to replicate that. And so what I try to do then with the young people, especially those who I sense that there is some issue of stress or some kind of a negativity at home or maybe at school or in their social environment, is try to provide them a different way of looking at things. Recognizing that you're only going to be here for a certain time. These persons you're seeing now for these number of years, in 5 years, your perspective, the horizon of your life will change. You will have new friends. You will see new vistas. Different things will open themselves to you. So you cannot allow the negativity or the stress level of now, today, to rest on you and affect your future progress.
You believe if this program that you are introduced, if this was done 10 years ago throughout the schools in the Bahamas, we would have a different society today?
Well, that's a difficult question because it's difficult to say. I know that it makes a difference already in the lives of these young people. It needs to be saturated to the point whereby I can touch more lives. And obviously, I will need more than just my or the persons who assist me. I'll need more than just that effort to pervade it through the whole society in the Bahamas. But it's going to take not just L.I.F.E, but it's going to take other programs as well. Ministry of Education programs, Rotary Club programs, Zonta Club, Church, all these other programs are going to need to work together. In the Bible, I think it was Peter, when they saw these other people preaching and doing things that were good, they say, Father, man, let's kill them or do something to them bad. And so Jesus said, they're against us, they're for us. And so while this may be a new program coming in, it just serves to augment the other programs and fits into, like I said earlier, the niche that helps to have these young people create that solid foundation, get to know who they are, help the society that they're in, respect the elders and the past generation, and then execute on the plans that they put for themselves.
Let me get to Jesse, and then I want to go to Regime. Jesse, what you are seeking to pursue? You told us about you're interested in culinary. In your pursuing of culinary, do you see you making Abaco a better place with this?
I wouldn't, it really didn't matter to me. I'd like to target wherever I could find a job or wherever needed my help.
So if there's a vacancy in Germany, you're gone.
Yes, sir.
And listen, the world the globe is where we live now. And so, which community you live in now? Manawar Key. So you're saying to us that once you receive what it is you're seeking to go after, you're not necessarily restricted to having Manawar as a place where you exhibit what your talents.
I want to travel the world.
That's awesome.
It is.
Were you able to change that mindset?
that they would come back home.
Were you able to cause that mindset to come about, or you met her with that mindset?
No, I basically met her with that mindset. There were some persons who seemed to be a bit afraid to go out and venture out.
Yes.
But I encouraged them to venture out. But I also encouraged them to come back and build the society. You know, when I was in college years ago, Ireland was going through a situation where a lot of their very talented persons were going to the US, going to England, and building those countries. And Ireland had a program whereby they were pulling people back and saying, listen, there's a brain drain in our country.
Yes.
We need you to come back to build Ireland. And so, as much as I would encourage these young people to go out there and expand their horizons and to get as much information as they can, exposure and experience, I would like and love very much for them one day to come back and say, let me put a stamp on the Bahamas. Let me bring that experience to bear on what's happening in the Bahamas. And whether it's good or whether it's bad, let me make a change. And if something bad is happening, let me do something about it. Similar to what we're doing with the L.I.F.E program. Let someone stand up and say, listen, let's do something for these young people to help them with their organization, to help them with their planning ability, to help them with their long-term and short-term goals.
Regine, would you be stuck in the Bahamas?
No, sir.
You're looking to spread your wings and fly.
Yeah.
And even if it requires that you having to speak another language.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And down to you, Razne. Your computer skills?
Global.
You'll go global.
Yes, sir.
And of course, Brandon,
Same thing.
with your mechanics,
Same thing.
you'll go to Detroit or Toyota. Or create the Brandon Mobile. Think bigger than just Marsh Harbor.
Yep.
I just believe that you could develop your own engine. And so you got to really be thinking as young people that one of these days you'll have the pattern to something that the world wants to buy.
Right.
And there's still a lot of things left to be invented in the world. We thought it was all done until they came along with this stuff. And pretty soon this laptop is going to be obsolete and they're going to go to the notebook. It's just moving so fast, moving so very fast. This is the voice of the church here on this beautiful Friday, April 1st. All four